So how do employee engagement and wellbeing relate to each other?
I think that's a really interesting issue because historically, and even now really, in many organisations, those two things are actually looked at quite separately. So on the one hand, you've got, we need an engaged workforce. So we need people who are committed, who are attached to the organisation, who will strive hard for the organisation and for themselves, which is great. And that generally is the area that's looked after by talent management teams, the HR department, and people who are interested in high levels of performance. Distinctively and separately from that, there's probably also something like an occupational health setup or health and safety, welfare, all those kind of things, where people are concerned about the well-being of the people in the organisation. That's physical well-being and psychological well-being. And really, to have fully sustainable engagement over a long period of time, you've got to have both of those things working together. So the organisation needs to be properly concerned about people's well-being on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise, the engagement, if you can achieve it, is just not going to be sustainable. And in practice, not enough organisations are bringing those two things together.
Right. So what do they need to do?
One of the things I think is to pull those two functions together and take a more strategic view of both well-being and engagement. But probably the most important thing of all, whereas top management and senior line managers are probably on board when it comes to thinking, yes, we need an engaged workforce because they can see the benefits for the organisation. There's much less real belief that if you work on the well-being of your workforce, it will deliver results in the long run for the organisation. And so, although you can talk to people at high levels in organisations or around organisations and say, are you committed to the well-being of your workforce? Well, nobody's going to say no, but generally people say yes and kind of believe it. But then when you ask them to do something that requires resource or investment or energy and effort on their part, that commitment doesn't turn into actual behaviour on their part.